this represents that the plane sheet is uniformly charged and the direction of this area is always perpendicular and outward. The area is 4 pi r square. Hello everyone, I am Maitri, Faculty of Physics, Vidyashram, Temple of Excellence. I welcome you all to the session 6, the last session of theory class of first chapter, Electric Charges and Fields. The second application of Gauss law is that consider uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Due to this, the electric field we need to find it using Gauss law. To find the expression for the electric field, consider this diagram. So, in the diagram, you have to write the plane sheet which is positively charged. So, this represents that the plane sheet is uniformly charged. So, write the explanation then below the diagram as consider an infinitely long plane sheet which is uniformly charged having surface charge density. The surface charge density symbol is sigma. What is surface charge density? Surface charge density is the charge per unit area. So, what is Q here? Q is the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface. Then Q is given by Q is equal to, or what is the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is sigma A. The charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is sigma A, where sigma is surface charge density. And A is the area of the Gaussian surface. What is this Gaussian surface? Gaussian surface is a closed surface, imaginary closed surface. Gaussian surface is imaginary closed surface. Here the suitable Gaussian surface is cylindrical Gaussian surface. So this is the Gaussian surface, which is an imaginary surface. To calculate the electric field using Gauss law, you have to imagine an imaginary Gaussian surface. Here the suitable one is cylindrical Gaussian surface. Yes, next. Now let us calculate the electric flux through the Gaussian surface. So I consider this Gaussian surface into 3 parts. So with electric flux through end phases. Let us consider the end phases as 1 and 2. The electric flux is calculated by the equation phi is equal to E A cos theta, where E is electric field, and A, you know that cross-sectional area of the Gaussian surface. So consider the end phase of the Gaussian surface, which is towards the left and the right. And let us mark the direction, or let us represent the direction of the electric field and the area to know the angle between these two. As this plane sheet is positively charged, the direction of electric field through that area is in the direction E, and the direction of this area is always normal and perpendicular to that. Let us represent It has n cap. N cap gives the direction of the area. Now look at this two. Electric field and area are in same direction. Therefore, the theta between them is 0 degree. Then cos 0 degree is equal to 1. So phi is equal to EA. Let us consider this as one end phase, then through second end phase or the opposite phase, through that the electric field direction is towards the left and the direction of area is in the direction of electric field. As both are in same direction, again the theta is 0 degree. Cos 0 degree is equal to 1. So phi 2 is equal to EA cos theta, where theta is 0 degree. Therefore, we have phi 2 as EA. Next, to calculate through the curved surface. So let us calculate the electric flux. Electric flux through curved surface. That is phi 3, which is equal to EA cos theta. Through the curved surface, the electric field direction is towards the right or the left, and the area direction is upward and perpendicular to that area. Angle between them is 90 degree. Therefore, theta is equal to 90 degree. Cos 90 degree is equal to 0. Then phi 3 value is 0. Now, what is the total electric flux through Gaussian surface? Total electric flux through Gaussian surface is phi, which is equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 and 3. The value of phi 1 is EA. Value of phi 1 is EA. And value of phi 2 is also EA. But phi 3 is 0. So, flux through Gaussian surface is 2EA. Consider this as equation 1. Next, let us use Gauss law. By Gauss law, flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught, and we know the Q is equal to sigma A. Substitute that in the above equation in the place of Q, then you get flux is equal to Q sigma A by epsilon naught. Now compare the equation 1 and 2. Comparing equation 1 and 2, you have 2EA is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught, where AA gets cancelled, and we have expression for the electric field as sigma by 2 epsilon naught, which represents the magnitude. Now let us move on to the third application, that is electric field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical shell. So where I have two sub-questions in that, or I have to find electric field outside the sphere and inside the sphere using Gauss law. Yes, for that consider a spherical shell which is uniformly charged. The charge on the spherical shell is positive and whose radius is r. The same you have to write in the explanation. That is, consider a spherical shell of radius. Sigma is the uniform surface charge density, and let P be a point outside the shell. Here is the point. P be a point outside the spherical shell. Keeping this point, you have to imagine a Gaussian surface, suitable Gaussian surface. Here the suitable Gaussian surface is also spherical shell. The Gaussian surface is sphere or the spherical shell whose radius is r, small r. Capital R is the radius of spherical shell and small r is the radius of Gaussian surface, which is an imaginary surface used to apply the Gauss law. Then electric field is same at all points of the Gaussian surface and which is directed radially outward as in this picture. So at this point, let us mark the direction of electric field, which is due to positive charge. Due to positive charge, the electric field is radially outward at point P. Now, let us consider a small area element delta S around point P to find the electric field which lies outside the spherical shell. To find the electric field due to this spherical shell, first we need to calculate the electric flux through this small area element, that is delta S. Let us calculate it. So point P, around that we have considered a small area element of Gaussian surface delta S. This is the point P. So the electric flux through delta S is given by phi, which is also small. So delta phi E delta S cos theta. We need to find the angle between the E and delta S to get the delta phi. For that, let us know the direction. So let me represent the direction of electric field due to this spherical shell which is charged positively, and the direction of the small area is outward and perpendicular. Both are in same direction. E and N are in same direction. Therefore, theta is 0 degree. Theta 0 degree. Then cos 0 degree is equal to 1. So, delta phi is equal to E delta S. We have calculated for small area, but to know the total electric flux through this complete Gaussian surface, we need to integrate it. So, on integration of delta phi is equal to integration of E delta S, we'll have the total electric flux phi, which is equal to E integration of delta S, means integrating is nothing but adding all the small area elements to get the total area of the Gaussian surface. The total area, let us consider it as S, and the area S is equal to 4 pi r square, where r is the radius of the Gaussian surface. So, flux phi is equal to E 4 pi r square, because the surface area of the Gaussian surface is 4 pi r square. Next, let us apply the Gauss law. By Gauss law, flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught, and Q is equal to sigma A. As per the second application, you know how to calculate the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface. A is the area of the spherical shell. The area is 4 pi r square. Remember, this is spherical shell and this is Gaussian surface radius. By substituting the area 4 pi r square by epsilon naught. You have the flux. Consider this as equation 2 and the previous one. This is equation 1. Now comparing the 1 and 2. Comparing equation 1 and 2. We have E 4 pi r square is equal to sigma 4 pi r square by epsilon naught. 4 pi gets cancelled and the expression for the electric field is sigma r square by r square epsilon naught. So this is the expression for the electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell outside the spherical shell. So this is very important. This is the expression for the point which lies outside the spherical shell. Next, let us find what is the electric field inside the spherical shell. Inside the spherical shell. Spherical shell or the sphere. For that, again consider a spherical shell which is uniformly charged. Now the point P lies inside the spherical shell whose radius is r. Now keeping this point P, we have to imagine a Gaussian surface to find the electric field at point P. Now look at this Gaussian surface which lies inside the spherical shell. It doesn't enclose any charge. So charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0. As the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0, electric field is also 0 by Gauss law. Therefore, inside the spherical shell, the value of electric field is 0. These are the two applications of Gauss law which we discussed in this session. In the next session, let us solve the problems from this chapter, the chapter 1, electric charges and fields. Thank you.